Hey friends, welcome back to the Honeystead. We are finally going to be harvesting some of the wild lettuce that decided to grow in the garden. And there's a few different ways to prepare it. I'm going to show you one way that we've done it that's super easy. But just bear in mind, there's multiple ways to do this. So let's go harvest some wild lettuce. Look at all of this feverfew. So this right here is prickly lettuce, opium lettuce, wild lettuce. It has a few different names. There's a few different species. This is one that decided to grow here, not something that we planted. But we figured we would let it grow, and I'm going to show you guys, we're going to show you guys how we set it up as a tincture. I just want you to kind of identify, one of the easy ways to identify, the leaves kind of look like a dandelion, but not. But if you look underneath, right here, do you see all the little spikes? That is a good, sure way to be able to identify that you have wild lettuce. Now, this is the perfect time to harvest because all of that energy is going up and it is right before flower. So that is why we are catching it now. But we're gonna go ahead and harvest a good bit. And another way that you can identify is if you kind of break off one of the leaves. You see all that milky substance? That is what we know as lactucarium.
So this is kind of cool. You tear the leaf and look, you can see it instantly.
This is kind of a good way to be able to identify your prickly lettuce, wild lettuce, opium lettuce, poor man's opium, whatever you want to call it. Now what's inside of it, the lactucarium, the little milky substance that we are looking for, is similar to what is in synthetic pain medication. We do want you to do your own research on this, and again, there's multiple ways to do this. We're gonna go ahead and cut it, but I did some reading and I found that if we cut it at a foot, it'll regenerate.
Do you see how much we have?
We have a lot.
This is pretty neat. You can actually see the lactucarium forming at the top where the cut is, and you can actually see it. I don't know if you can, but there's parts where you can see it dripping down. It kind of it looks like milk.
Yep, and it's very sticky.
Yes.
Just need a saw here. I could just do the little ones. I think that'll be enough for right now. That's a lot, but we'll come back through. I do want to do the other method, but not today.
No.
So you guys are probably going to hear that the Harvest Right freeze dryer is loaded up in the background, and that's the noise. We were going to do this outside, but I think we're getting ready to get hit with a massive storm.
Yeah, it's pretty, the temperature has dropped like 10 degrees and the clouds are pretty black.
But that's okay because we need it, and it rained a good bit today. And that's something that I want to share with you guys because we get asked quite often, so don't come at me, but it poured down for a few hours today, and
I think the lettuce leaves, wild lettuce leaves are clean.
They're very clean. But if you guys were foraging or harvesting in an area that you don't necessarily know, that might not be on your property, be mindful of that, but that's totally on you. We trust that the rain helped wash a lot of this off, and I don't want to add any more moisture in on this, so it was actually perfect that we waited until the rain to come and do this harvest.
And also, when you're looking over the leaves, as we're getting ready, we're going to be inspecting them, and anything that has a blemish or doesn't look up to the best quality that we could offer or it could offer, we're going to go ahead and just set it aside and
just get rid of it.
Yeah, and just not use it.
Now, what the method that we're just going to do is kind of a wild crafting, wild woman style that we have been taught.
Wild woman.
Yeah, I'm calling it wild woman, okay? Because this is wild lettuce. We're wild women. But there are methods. There are formulations. There are different techniques. You can literally, to make a black tar wild lettuce, which is something that we will do. I didn't have the time to film that quite yet.
Maybe that's next.
I think so. I want to try it. It's supposed to be a good bit more potent for helping relieve pain.
Right.
But basically what you would do is you would put it in a pot, cook it down for like...
Yeah, I read somewhere like
24 hours.
Get a big pot, fill it halfway with lettuce, then kind of double the amount with water, and then you want to cook it down to like...
Yeah, but not boil.
No, you want to slow cook it down for like 24 plus hours on low heat to where you get about that much in like a 5-quart stock pot. So
and then you would take that black tar and then tincture that.
Right.
So it's great. We're definitely going to do that. I haven't been stationary for over 24 hours because we're all over the place, and this is a quick and easy way, so we're going to kind of show you. We identified prickly lettuce. There are multiple different species. So what we're going to do, there's a few different ways that you can do this. I killed the Vitamix last time.
She did.
So I'm not going to use the Vitamix for this. However, you do want to macerate up your wild lettuce as much as possible, because you want that really good milky substance that's in it to be able to be exposed to your alcohol, your tincture that we're gonna do. So I got my cutting board. My mom is not gonna be cutting.
It's injured.
So, which is another reason why we are doing this. And what's even greater is we actually have one that is ready to be pressed off. So we're gonna kind of show you the whole process of this.
Do you want to pick the leaves off and then kind of cut? It might make it easier to cut the stalk.
Yeah, it would be.
And then what I was thinking is I might be able to do the lettuce leaves. If you
want to try that?
I'll try.
Okay. If not, with scissors, well,
I know, it just hurts.
Ouch. It's prickly.
Alright, hand me.
Gosh, look at all that.
You can see, look at all the...
It's like oozing.
Yeah.
Ooh. Alright, I'm going to give you that one. We're going to get to cutting. And I like the soft, the tender stuff. It is a little bit easier to cut.
To work with?
Yeah. But you're going to use leaves and stalk. We left about a foot still in the ground because it'll come back. So just, you know, think about that. When you guys are incorporating medicinal plants into your, medicinal weeds into your garden, you want them to be able to come back again. And then the only other thing that I'd like to try to see if I can do this is I'd like to try to transplant it to see how easy how you can transplant it. Because that's the big thing. Like I want people to be able to see that you don't have to just have flowers or vegetables in your garden. You can have the weeds, you can have the things that, or they're
pretty wild.
They're gonna plant themselves.
They're gonna plant them over here and they're gonna grow over there next year. I promise you. You want to just put all this in here like that?
Yeah. I do wish I macerated it up a lot more, but
you want me to cut it up more?
No, what I might do, that I've also done before, is we've gone ahead and filled cut it up as good as we can, then we filled it up with the alcohol.
Then
I've let it sit for, I've let it sit for, you know, about a week or so, and then taken that immersion blender and blended it up.
Oh, that's right. That's how we did it the last time.
Which is helpful. And it once it gets, you know, soaked in, that's the good stuff. That is the good stuff. But all of this is all, I mean, just oozing. Wild lettuce is
wild.
Smack me.
Miss me.
So wild lettuce is one though.
Oopsie.
I'm gonna smack you with this wild lettuce.
You better, I'll get you with the prickly side.
So when we first tinctured it and started to kind of introduce it to our regiment as needed, you just be mindful. You don't want to go like full force with this dosage wise. Start out small.
So what are some of the things that you would use wild lettuce for?
So definitely pain. Pain is one.
And that you would use as a tincture, in a tincture form.
In a tincture form.
Okay.
You can combine it with other herbs, tincture-wise. Lemon balm is a good one to combine this with.
And that would enhance the sleep
Very
component
much.
that this plant offers. It helps with insomnia.
These knives
Don't use those. Look, you've got very healthy young green shoots. I'd rather use the.
I'm just gonna use what I got.
Yeah.
Because it's a little easier. But definitely sleep, definitely for pain, that you would consider using this for. And it pairs well with other herbs. So, but I wouldn't necessarily take this and then go and drive. Like I would take it and just kind of see how it makes you.
What the effect is.
Yeah.
Well, based on the.
It's not opium, okay? It's not opium.
But it has a very similar pain relieving quality that opium can offer.
Right, but it's not addicting too, which is
a different.
It's so cool that this is a literally weed that is growing outside, and it can offer offer so much. So the ratio that we're gonna do, it's not really a ratio, okay?
You're gonna put all the plant matter in it and fill it up.
Right, but it is acceptable to have a like 1-to-1 ratio, 1 part plant matter to 1 part of your menstruum. What you don't want to have is have your plant matter being greater than your menstruum. So no matter what, you're gonna want all of your plant matter completely covered. But we're gonna treat this like any other tincture and fill it with the menstruum and then store it in a cool, dark space for minimum 6 to 8 weeks. But I've also seen where some people will let it sit for even longer than that to be able to pull out as much as possible. I've seen some people will let it sit for like 6 to 8 months. So I think this is gonna work just fine. What we're gonna do, there's a couple of pieces that are a little bit bigger than that, but that's okay. We're gonna go ahead and fill this jar, top it all the way with 100 proof vodka. That's what we have, that's what we're using. You guys, it's totally up to you, whatever you like to do. 100 proof is about the lowest that will go, mainly for a good bit of our tinctures. Sometimes we have to use the higher proof, but this is gonna be just fine. I accidentally ran out of my vodka. So, I'm a bad bartender herbalist. That's okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back to this. I do have some other
untinctured tincture mix
that I will add into this.
I'm gonna borrow some.
It's okay. It's all good. This is gonna be for us, so I'm not really worried. Actually, it's gonna be for her. But that's okay. So I will come back to this and make sure to date it, write your label.
I can go ahead and do that now.
Scientific name, botanical name, the date that you made your tincture, what is it? It's wild crafted. What's your ratio? Is wild woman? What are you using? Is going to be 100 proof vodka is what we're using. And then you're going to store this in a cool dark space underneath your cabinet or somewhere, and then shake it every single day. So I'm going to come back to this. I'm not going to forget about it, but I had to, oops.
Yep.
I guess I have to go visit the ABC store. So, and that's okay. But I do have some that is ready to press off. And so we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna press it off, put it in an amber color bottle, and then we're gonna talk about dosage and other ways, other things about wild lettuce that is so very cool. So we grabbed down underneath of the island where we keep all of our tinctures that are in the process of being made. We had one small jar that we did a little over a month ago using the 100 proof 50% alcohol. We use vodka, but I'll let you see it. See, it kind of got a little, there you go. Come on, camera. The menstruum that we used pulled all of that beautiful, good richness out of the plant matter. We did harvest this one, like I said, about a month ago.
One of the things that I found that was very interesting, and this is why we love having so many different authors, you know, of herbalists that have practiced and tried other methods. And I like to become familiar with the plant in more than one fashion.
Oh yeah, agreed.
So one of the things that I found very interesting with the wild lettuce is it talked about a tea. Now, I don't particularly think that wild lettuce tea is going to be tasty, but if we want to experience the plant, I think it's a great way to do it. It did put a recommendation to use dried leaves, so you would either air dry or dehydrate those.
Right, and the other thing too is, so my mind always goes back to I guess the survivalist in me.
Right.
So like, okay, if we didn't have alcohol,
exactly,
to be able to extract this plant matter, what are the other ways?
Exactly.
And water is one that, you know, we have a creek. Okay, cool. Check the box on that one if we had to. But we also found that there are people who've even smoked.
Right.
Have even smoked.
And that goes back to the drying. So it's that additional opportunity to utilize a plant with in a different method.
Right. And I'm curious because one of the other forms that we did a few years back, we actually took some plant matter and we dried it just a little bit, just air dried it, and then we chopped it up and we put it in olive oil, and we were playing around to see if it has the capability, the pain relieving capability that you could, for salve, for skin. I think we're gonna have to try that again though, because I don't think we got an outcome, but we'll find out. That'll be a science experiment.
Well, and also too, I found 2 recipes to do the concentrate method. One is using dried lettuce material matter, and then the other one is using fresh.
Right.
So we're gonna get 2 crock pots. We're gonna have dueling crock pots going.
We'll give it a shot and see. And right now, hopefully we can get it done. That's my goal. Hopefully we can do it. It might be this weekend.
It's gonna have to be. We're gonna put it on, and then we're gonna take care of other things that have to take care of.
I'm also harvesting chickens this weekend.
Well, we're gonna get the crock pot going in the morning or in the night before.
Okay.
And then it'll cook all day.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there.
All right.
So,
because we've got over 100 chickens to harvest on top of the things.
And I'm injured.
Yes. So that means, yay! I'm gonna be like, drink all the wild lettuce. No, don't drink all the wild lettuce. No. We already talked about that. Y'all don't go crazy with the wild lettuce until you know your threshold. Until you know, I'm making a really big mess.
Thank goodness for these $5 trays at a yard sale. This was the best. They're pretty too.
There we go. So basically all I'm doing, I have some just unbleached cheesecloth, and then I've got a little strainer.
You want a little bowl.
And so what I'm doing is I'm just kind of smushing it. Yeah. So I'm just kind of smushing it. You're gonna squeeze all of that extract out that you possibly are gonna use.
I was going to say, I would offer assistance, but I don't think I'm going to be that.
I think we're going to be okay.
Yeah.
I'll squeeze a little bit more later, but right now, I'm trying to get this done really for her. But look at the color. It's green. It's so green.
We should put a light behind it so you can see it.
It is very pretty though.
It's almost like an emerald.
All right, I'm gonna do this real quick.
Yeah,
Sometimes I like to strain it out one more time just with some cheesecloth. We're gonna MacGyver. I have gloves. And I wear gloves, and I'm gonna say something because
this is mine.
I know. Okay.
I do not cook in my kitchen
with
preparing meals with gloves.
When we are preparing things for other people, we will definitely wear gloves. The gloves that I have, and I have had some people criticize, they are biodegradable, food grade gloves, and I'm gonna show them to you because
I'm gonna keep on the pouring. And I think you're gonna need another bottle.
Probably. I might top that one. So these gloves that I have are completely, they're food-based. So they're not plastic.
And they melt.
They do, if you get wet, they do break easily. So these are great when we're blending like teas and dried ingredients.
Right.
But I had some people comment about, why are you wearing plastic gloves? And I'm like, they're not. So, okay, there's that. Not good for liquid, but definitely something good for dried. So I will definitely, I wanted to share that with you guys because I've had a few people comment about that, and I'm like, okay.
Oh well.
Okay, I'm doing the best that I can, people.
I think you're good. We're full.
Are we? I see a little bit more. I'm looking at it.
All right.
You want to take a dropper?
Yep. Let's go ahead.
And we are storing them in amber colored bottles. We're going to label the amber colored bottles. The reason why we're choosing the amber colored bottles is because any sunlight that's going to be exposed to it could potentially break down the medicinal properties, the plant matter that the plant matter offers. So you do want to consider a darker colored bottle or storing in an area where there's no sunlight. Now, I also have a lot of people that will talk about this building. This room stays very dark. We've got our windows completely covered. The only time that I have a lot of lights on are really when I'm filming and taking you guys, because I can't really film in the dark. That doesn't work. And I make a bigger mess.
Yes.
So, so that is why we do use amber colored bottles. Now, before you take this, what you're gonna do, I might need to, I gotta get a different funnel. Can I try it? Oh snap. Look at me.
Oh, look, she's getting good.
I'm not making a mess.
Shouldn't name you Marvin.
But before you take your wild lettuce tincture, you're going to want to shake the bottle. Now I'm going to go ahead and pour one.
Okay.
I think I want to formulate a little bit, but I might do that on another date because this bottle is pretty much full. Before you go ahead and you take your tincture, you are going to have to shake your bottle up. So you want to make sure that you mix it around before you take it. And then I would start with a little bit before you go full force in it. Again, always do your own research. This plant is not for everybody. Do not take wild lettuce and then drive. Do not operate heavy machinery.
And really, this is one, it works very well, and everybody's tolerance might be a little bit different. Strongest recommendations is definitely do not use pregnant or or nursing.
Yeah, but this is going to last for, I mean, honestly, we'll go through this bottle probably within the next, by a year at least. But that's what's beautiful about this time of year is that the plants are growing, they're in abundance, and we can harness them and we can preserve them. Now, a tincture itself can last, I mean, we kind of follow the 5-year rule. But there are people who will also say, oh, well, we've had a tincture last for longer than that. Some people will say 10 years, but that's, you know, we follow the 5-year when it comes to the plants. But I know that we're going to go ahead and plan on harvesting more of it and then drying the leaves, because
we've got 3 different recipes we want to try.
Yeah.
One is a tea, which is dried leaves. The other one is the concentrate.
I'm going to dry some leaves and put them in a salve. I'd like to try that.
Oh, so then we have 4.
I know. I'd like to give it a shot.
Okay, I'm down. Let's do it.
So, we will keep you guys posted on all of the adventures, but we wanted to take the time and share with you the wild lettuce, because I know that it has been screaming at us.
Oh, it's popping up like everywhere.
I literally was cooking dinner tonight and I looked out my window and I was like,
oh, there's one
I've got
right there.
more wild lettuce growing right outside of my kitchen window. I'm like, okay, so it's saying something.
Right. I'm in pain.
Right. So I'm just gonna, like, I should just take that wild lettuce.
No, don't.
Get her back from,
it would hurt,
smacking me with the wild lettuce.
I am sorry about that.
That's okay. She's not sorry. But thank you guys for coming along with us. And of course, as always, don't be afraid
to get your hands dirty
and learn something new. Bye, guys.
Bye.
I've got to come in through here and do a little bit of work, but this is all, I cannot believe all of this is wild lettuce.